Hi, everybody, and welcome to the SOCW 6002 Library Lab. My name, trying to get my camera. Hi, everybody. My name is Amanda Solomon, and I'm the social work librarian here at Walden Library. So glad you're going to join me this afternoon for this presentation. So this is supposed to introduce you to some library services and resources that's going to help you through this course and, help you the rest of your journey here at Walden, hopefully. And I just want to make it very productive. I want you to feel free to ask questions. I'm super um, kind of laid back when it comes to my presentations. I just want it to be useful and productive. I try not to go over 30 minutes because I know it's late in the afternoon and it can be hard to sit and watch a webinar, but we'll do our best. So I'll turn off my camera, I'll check chat periodically, and let's just go ahead and get started so we can get on with the rest of our afternoon and evening. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Okay. Before I get started, and hello, Miss Bell, I want to go over our a little housekeeping. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get closed captioning at such a late notice. So, there's not going to be any closed captioning for this webinar. I do apologize. Um, Feel free to ask questions. I do have a PowerPoint that I uploaded that you can get, but I don't really follow it. I'm kind of loosely follow my PowerPoint, but it's there if you need it. And then also want to let you guys know there will be a link to this recording. If it's good, if it's terrible, I'm going to delete it. But if it's a pretty good recording, it'll be included in the email that you guys get. I think it's a follow-up email, and you should get that tomorrow. So look for that. So what are we going to cover? We're going to look at where to find your course readings. So within this course, you're going to have required course readings, and those are generally um, journal articles and peer-reviewed articles that are going to help you with your discussions and your assignments. And where do you find those? We make it really easy for you. And then second, we are going to look at a page that I created for my social work students, and that's the social work research page. I just like you to bookmark it and come back to it. I want to talk about choosing and using databases. I was looking over your course and I noticed that in week 6, you do have a paper where you're going to need to find some peer reviewed literature and review a peer reviewed article. And in order to do that, you need to know how to choose and use a database. The earlier that you can figure that out and really learn how to master the databases and keyword searching, the better off you're going to be in this course and all the remainder of your coursework. It's such an important skill, and really, it's actually easy to learn with a little practice. And then lastly, where to get help. The library has so much help and support, and so does Walden in general, like the Writing Center and Academic Skills Center. So there's just so much for our students, and we'll talk about where to get help. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go on to the internet. Sorry, I do not know what all this stuff is. So let's start at the library homepage. And if you haven't come to the library yet, this is our virtual library. We have 24/7 access to articles, help, guides, tutorials, journals, databases, dissertation. I mean, just everything is here for you to access at any time. So I do recommend that my students bookmark this page. You can always come back to it. I'm a huge believer in favorites and bookmarks, and so this is the number one page I use pretty much all day. So I just want to briefly go over the website. So this you have a search box here. That's our main search engine. That's called Thoreau, and this is great for just typing in a couple of keywords that you're interested in, or maybe for a particular assignment. It's a really great beginning search. It's perfect for just our beginner researchers. It's so good. I love it. It's thorough. Otherwise, you have some other skills down here where we have tutorials and webinars, just like I'm giving today, guides, lots of instructional help. We have our databases here, so just broad tabs that you can go in and explore later. But what's most important today is that you know how to get to your course readings. So from the library's homepage, simply click on course guides right here. And then what we're going to do is scroll down to the S because you're going to choose your course code. Now, your course code is SOCW. So we'll scroll down to the S through V, and then we're going to look for the SOCW, social work. Ding, ding, ding. And then your course number, which is 6002. Changing Lives, Changing Society. So once you find your course guide, what do I recommend you do? You know, bookmark it. So make sure you bookmark this and then you can come back and see all of your required readings. Now this page has every one of your required course readings, okay? You do not have to go find them yourself. You don't have to go into the library and do a title search or Google Scholar or wear yourself out trying to find your articles. They're all listed here for your convenience in alphabetical order by author. You guys have a lot of readings. You're going to be doing a lot of reading. That's good. So here you can access your readings. Make sure you come back and you know how to find this. It's very important. I have a lot of students that don't know that we have their readings available. This will take you to the full text article. We'll just do a demo really quick. Sometimes when you get to the page, different databases have different ways that they have the full text. So you might actually have to click on the full text. Sometimes you might see a PDF that you want to download over here. So it takes a little bit of critical reading to find the article sometimes. This one is just laid out right here. Perfect. But sometimes you might say download PDF and it might look a little different. So voila, you have access to all of your readings. The second thing about this course guide that's important is looking at the assignment guides on the left. Sometimes when you have a little assignment that I think needs a little library push, I'll put an assignment guide together. So for example, week 2, I believe that you will be asked to locate a historical figure within the discipline of social work. And that can be a little daunting to find historical figures in the databases. So I lay out exactly how to do that with visuals and numbered instruction. So you'll be able to complete that assignment, hopefully with ease. And the same thing for your assignment in week 3. So for that, you're kind of doing some local research about licensures, and that can also be difficult, but you will have a little bit of assistance in the assignment guide. So make sure you look for that. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Okay, thanks. Thanks for answering, you guys. It looked like somebody said the audio went off and I kind of freaked out. Okay, thank you. Woo, thank goodness. All right, so that's your course readings guide, and we're going to want to make sure that you have that and so you can get back to it. You have a lot of readings. You want to make sure that you can get right to it. Now, what's the second thing I wanted to show you? That is your social work research page. From the library's website, I created a page just for my social work students. So under select a subject, we're going to go to our discipline, social work. Some of the best people in the world, social workers. Here you have this picture of me. But also, most importantly, there's a lot of things here that are very helpful to my students. One, here is a gold line search box. Now, this search box is really good for social work research as a beginning student. You can type in keywords to get articles. Now, this is a little bit more focused than that main library search on the home page. Remember that main search, Thoreau? This actual gold line search box on the social work page is going to just target social work journals and databases. So you're going to get probably more relevant results if you start here for your social work assignments, just because I handpicked the journals. And so it's coming from family studies, violence studies, gender studies, social change, cultural competence, journals that speak to these issues. So you'll probably get some good results if you use this gold line search box. Second, what's most important about this page is I do have a list of social work databases. Now, remember what I said when we started, getting to know the databases, practicing, learning how to speak their language, which will come very organically and natural to you as you practice. But it's a very important skill to master early on. And I think it's so important for my students. So I do have a list of databases here that are best for social work. Now, your research or your assignment might have an education focus, or maybe you're looking at uh, nonprofits or something that has a different focus. You might just not want a social work database. We have other databases, so you might go into the education research page or business research page. You can change your research home here. So I have a lot of students that are looking at the criminal justice system, inmates, female inmates in prison and things like that. So I would recommend that they actually start learning a criminal justice database. So it really depends on your assignment and your topic. But mostly my social work students are going to learn, going to be using a social work database. Particularly, my personal favorite is SOCI Index with full text. Now, this is the most comprehensive social science database there is. All of the top universities have it. And we're so lucky that we do have access to this amazing database. And not to mention, it's super easy to maneuver. Let's take a look at it. And I know I talk fast, so if I'm losing you, just tell me to slow down. But I just want to make sure that we get everything in and we're not too overloaded or too tired. So this is your basic database search screen. A lot of students say I'm in EBSCOhost. Well, you are, but EBSCOhost has a lot of databases. So make sure that you know that you're searching SOCI Index with full text right here. And we will do a basic keyword search. Now, remember what I was saying. First of all, it's such a great skill to learn a database. So come into this database and start playing around. The second most important skill for my students to master finding articles for their assignments, mastering how to find articles for discussions and papers. And, if you're going to go on for that PhD or DSW, you're going to want to start saving the literature that you find in your coursework for your dissertation. So, choosing and using a database is key. The second key is keyword strategy. What do I mean by that? A lot of students want to put in search strings. All right, so this is kind of a sample search. Somebody might be interested in this. This is going to overwhelm the database. Databases are very picky when it comes to how you speak to it. And believe me, you will learn this. The more you get results, the more you start seeing how the database is indexing subject terms, it's going to be like, oh, I get it, I get it. They don't want me to say teenage, or they want me to say adolescent or teenager, or teen. So you'll start seeing those things, but do not overwhelm the database with large search strings. We call this keyword strategy. Instead, we might do this is a new thing. The database actually helps you put in keywords, which is great. Anytime you connect a word with an or, it's called Boolean. You're searching synonyms. So you will get articles that either address teens or adolescents. So do you see what we did there? Instead of putting one long search string that was confusing to the database, we break our topic up into keywords. Now we have some pretty good articles here that are addressing the things that we were most interested about. One, teenagers. Two, drug abuse. And three, athletes. Now, maybe I wanted to go even narrower and look at marijuana or a particular type of drug like alcohol. I could add a search box if I wanted to and actually include that. So let's just go over that one more time. I know that in week 6, you guys, I think it's you are studying the very important concept of cultural competence and cultural awareness. And I believe you're going to have to find some articles on that. So, for example, you could just simply type it in. Again, I love how the database gives you ideas. It didn't used to do that, and it is such a great addition to the database. So we're looking at cultural competence, cultural awareness, or cultural sensitivity. And the reason we do the ors is because some scholars may refer to cultural competence as cultural awareness, and another scholar might refer to it as cultural sensitivity. So you want to make sure the database is going to give you all of those results. Okay, so here's a good example. We have a lot of results. We have over 3,000. Now, don't kind of freak out when you see that many results, because the second part of using a database is taking control of that search. You don't really realize how much control you have over a database. Students have so much control, they can really tell the database what they want. So first off, before you even look at your results, number one, I know that you guys are going to be asked to find peer-reviewed literature. Now, what does peer-reviewed mean? It means this particular article has been reviewed by an editorial board of peers within that discipline. So these are going to be experts in the field of social work. And that journal has reviewed that particular article for non-bias or for bias or for currency, looked at the references. Is everything sound? Is the methodology sound? So it's kind of the highest level of research, and that's called peer reviewed. And it's important that you get peer reviewed literature for your papers and your assignments as a MSW student. So we're going to want to make sure we click that limit to peer-reviewed articles. So bam, the database does it for you. I don't have to worry about, is it peer-reviewed? I'm not sure. I don't know. Well, now all of our results are peer-reviewed. The second thing I want you to do right off the bat, very naturally, is we want to look at current literature a lot of the time, because I like to see what are the current scholars talking about when it comes to cultural awareness. So I don't want articles from 1937. So I'm actually going to highlight and change my publication date and just update my results to get current literature. So right now I'm looking at um, peer-reviewed current literature loosely related to cultural competence. Now I still have 800 results. So, if you wanted to, you could still come back up here and um, add another keyword. So maybe you just want to look at cultural wellness within the African American community. You could add your demographic. Maybe you want to look at cultural competence in the geriatric community. And so you would want to add that. So really practicing with that keyword strategy, not overwhelming the database. Right away, you want to do your limiters, full text, peer reviewed, current literature, and there's a lot more that you can do, but this is more for advanced students, and I do recommend that you guys watch my advanced webinar. But there's just a whole lot of stuff that you can do. You can limit to a geography, a language, a particular methodology or practice, professional practice. The, this database is just so neat with all the things that you can do. Okay, so once you do get a good list of results, say that you want to look at the article and read it and at least browse the abstract and the conclusion. That's what I typically did. I still do. Oh, before I point that out, remember how I said you will learn how the database talks? When you are looking at results, view those subjects, you'll start to see what this is basically saying what the article is all about. So cultural pluralism is something that I would had not thought of. So maybe you want to plug that into your keyword strategy. Yeah, I keep seeing that. So the database likes that. So you'll start to learn kind of like what are these articles talking about, and how do they want me to talk to it? So for LGBT people, you could plug that keyword in with or gay or queer or queer youth. So you'll start to see kind of how the database wants you to talk. Multiculturalism, we probably could add that to our search on cultural competence. That's definitely similar. Cultural relevance is very interesting. So this is called critical reading. It's also called information literacy. It's becoming a scholar, really looking at the subjects and applying those new keywords to your search strategy. It's very easy and it really comes naturally. It just takes a few searches in a database and you've got this down pat, believe me. So let's take a look at this first article. Say that we really like it. It's current. When you click on the title, it takes you to something called the detailed record. It's going to give you the title, the authors, the source. So the source is always the journal. So this is coming from a journal called Social Work Education, pretty current, 2015, volume 34, issue 2. It gives you the subject terms. Again, we have to start looking at these. And then I like how the author also always provides terms as well. So we might add the word diversity to our keyword search. You have the abstract and then you have the PDF over here. So you want to open that full text article and you want to save it. However you save it to your desktop, do you save it to your email, or if you want to be really snazzy, you can go over here and you can do things like print it, email it to yourself, save it to that's a floppy disk. Probably some of us don't know what that is. I remember floppy disk, flash drive, or whatever your saving mechanism is. And then if you want to throw it into like a Microsoft Word document, you can hit the permalink right here. Why is it not showing? Why is nothing happening? Normally you'll get a link. I don't know what's happening on this record. Oh, there it is. Sorry guys. You're like, hello Amanda, it's up top. You would just copy and paste this link and throw it into a Word document or however you save. It's just important. I want my students to start doing early is learning how to save their material. Lastly, you're going to want to copy that APA citation. So under Cite, you would click on APA and go ahead and copy and paste that into your paper. Of course, you have to look at it with a keen eye because it's often wrong. So you want to make sure that you're having the correct citation for APA. But there's a lot of neat things that the database does for you. Okay, I'll just do one more demo. I believe, I don't know if it's week 3 or one of the weeks you are going to be looking at poverty within your area, and you may need to support that with some literature. So we'll just do one more example. I always pick the one with the most words. Poverty or low income or low socioeconomic or disadvantaged. And then you would just want to put your location. I'm not picking on Florida. I love Florida. I went to graduate school in Tampa, so I just thought of Florida first. So that's one way you would want to maybe get some peer-reviewed articles, but are still speaking about um, poverty in your area. Okay, are there any questions? So far, so good. So back to that social work research page, we do have the gold line search box, which is a good start. But you know me, I want my students to master the databases as early as possible. So that's why I took you into SOCI Index with full text, the most comprehensive social work database, and where we did some keyword strategy. We don't want to overwhelm the database. We want to pick concepts, put them in different boxes, and then when we get a list of results, we want to make sure we have our peer-reviewed, that's scholarly literature, and then update that publication date to 2015. Well, thank you, Michelle. Michelle is telling me that um, this is informative. Well, I that is the feedback I like to get. Thank you, because sometimes it's like very difficult to talk into a camera and a screen, but not see people's faces and not hear your voices. It's hard. The other thing on your social work research page I'll point out is just, get familiar with some journals. We have a video database that shows actual sessions of social workers in counseling sessions and some interesting things there. We do have books. Yes, we are a virtual library, but I can get you a book. If you need a book, let me know. Or you can browse some of our books. The DSM, super popular, so I have a link to it on your page. As well as we do have book collections. And then I also just have some other things down here. Your residency materials. If anybody's planning on going to Orlando, I'm going to be there. Getting excited about October. And then just research basics. If you forget what we went over today, you can go back here, choose a topic, go into SOCI Index, do the keywords. So just a little overview here. Thanks, Miss Bell. Thank you, Miss Bell. All right, so now the last thing I was going to show you is how to get help, because there's a lot of support for our students. So from the library's homepage, which we all have bookmarked by now, you go to Ask a Librarian right here in the top right corner. So I have a lot of great colleagues. I am the social work librarian. Um, and I mostly work with social work and human services students, but you can meet with any librarian. All of my colleagues are amazing. We love working with students. So you can either email us, and that goes to our reference desk, the virtual reference desk, and usually you'll get a response within 24 hours. It's usually a lot sooner than that. Term start can get crazy, but you will get a response as soon as possible. And it could be me, it can be a colleague. The other thing you can do is actually chat with a real live person, which is super fun in this virtual environment. Sometimes you just want to actually kind of like have this real time chat. And we have certain chat hours, and you can see our schedule. So if chat is ever open and you have a quick question about library services or resources, you can easily chat. This would say online. You would just click here and chat with a real live librarian. It's really popular. You can call us, but unfortunately, you just have to leave a voicemail. But we will get back with you via email. Sometimes it's just easier when you have a question to actually talk it out. So if you feel like you're one of those people that you can explain it better with voicemail rather than email, just leave us a voicemail and we'll get back with you. And then I meet with my doctoral students one-on-one. I believe my MSW students can do that as well. I mean, I'm certainly not going to tell anybody, I'm not going to help them. Um, the Writing Center is amazing support, and then customer care is going to help with some of those technical issues like Blackboard and those other things. Lastly, our quick answers. Let me just scroll back up. On your Ask a Librarian page, quick answers is amazing. It's my favorite little hidden jewel of the library. So, say for example, you forgot what I said about peer review. You can just click that, click on the one you want, and you'll get some really good detail about peer review, what it is, and how to find it. Maybe you forgot what I said about Thoreau. Remember how you have to find information about a person? You can use Thoreau to do that, and it'll give you really good information on how with visuals. So quick answers is pretty much my favorite thing about the library. I use it all the time, actually. I go in here and just type in stuff and pretty much find my answer almost every time. All righty. Thank you, Telly. Telly, awesome name. So I got a question. Do we call you to schedule one-on-one? You'll have to go through that form. You have to go through an online form. Unfortunately, that's how we collect statistics. So go back into Ask a Librarian and just fill out that form down here. It says doctoral and dissertation students only, but I'm not quite sure that is the case. If so, email me. I'll be happy to help you. All right, everybody. So let's just review really quickly. I'm at my 30-minute mark. You know how I like to keep it to 30 minutes. So we went over a basic library search here on Thoreau. Easy peasy to do something here. However, if you want to start learning the databases, we went into your social work research page. And this is a little bit more focused of a search, or you can really advance and go into your social work database, SOCI index, and do some good keyword strategy and start looking at that peer-reviewed literature. We also talked about finding your course readings, because I know that's important. You're going to have to do lots of reading, and that was under your course guides from the library's homepage. Remember, we just went to SOCW, SO6002, and we found our course readings guide. We bookmarked that. And then lastly, we just looked at where to get help. Where was that? Haha. Actually, let me get back. Sorry. Okay, Ask a Librarian is how to get your help. So the really rich, quick answers, as well as email, chat, and voicemail. And that is your SOCW 6002 library lab. I wish all of you so much luck in this class. It's going to be great. You're going to do amazing, especially now that you know how to find your readings and you know how to use a database. And I have a comment from Angel. She's like, instead of trying to figure this out on your own, it's so nice to have a webinar. Absolutely. And who could ever figure this out on your own? I mean, unless someone shows you, you don't know. So it's very important that I show you this. And even though it's 30 minutes, I still think we got the basics. And like I said, I'm here for you. If you ever need anything, I'm always going to be available to help you. Thank you guys for attending. If there's not any more questions, I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your afternoon and evening. And don't forget, you're going to get a recording tomorrow. All right? All right, I'm going to turn my camera on and say goodbye and just wave goodbye. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Telly. You rock too. All right. Okay. Whoa, that is very close up. Sorry, guys. Anyway, thanks for coming. Good luck this semester, this term. Let me know how it goes and email me if you need any help. And wish you guys all the best. Bye.